Yo, what's going on everybody? GZTV back with another video, and today we are going to be talking about Dave. The show featuring, obviously... Fuck, that was loud, wasn't it? Okay. Literally, lifted my mic out of the stand. It's alright. Obviously featuring famous rapper Lil Dicky. Obviously he hasn't released music in a while, but I'm sure he's been working on this. So, last week's episode of Dave ended at a potential point of no return. Dave chose to drum up publicity for Lil Dicky for letting the world believe he was dead for a few days as a publicity stunt. Here's a guy who used to pride himself on authenticity and letting his art speak for itself, now resorting to cheap stunts executed with full awareness of their ethical murkiness. It was framed as a crossing of the moral event horizon, a choice that could endanger his relationships even if it doesn't lead to a scandal that could jeopardize his whole career. But if Dave is going to face consequences for his death scam, it won't be this episode. For sure not. This episode, nothing really drains on him or anything. If anything, he gets praise from his record label for getting more popularity off of it. Compared to most episodes in this series, Rebirthday is a chill watch, a reset that puts Dave in a better place than ever, wealthy, productive, and surrounded by people who love him. He's even able to start a new relationship with someone who seems to want the same things as him, and this Robin thing is fleshing out so far, and I love it. Of course, the bigger Dave gets, the harder he'll fall. There's a natural sense that this phase of personal and professional fulfillment is temporary, which leaves this episode feeling a little weightless, a little transitional. This is kind of like a filler episode almost in this series, and I don't even like calling it that because it still was a fun episode to watch, and there was definitely some things to take out of it. Still, seeing the show just having fun for a while can be nice. So far this season has done a great job juggling the ensemble sitcom feel of season 1 with the weirder, more ambitious impulses of an at times excessively dark season 2. The greater Dave's range of tones, the better it lands both comedically and dramatically. The death scam does hang over this episode, but the focus, first and foremost, is Robin, who is in LA for 2 weeks to visit her sort of, but not really long-distance boyfriend. They're still accessible to each other. Their relationship is still pretty intimate for being long-distance. Their first day together is realistically awkward, with the two of them immediately agreeing to escape their bodies at the same time with wine for Robin and weed for Dave. And obviously one of them goes a little worse than the other. They're not even able to get wine for Robin. I'm not sure why Dave started smoking before she even got... Okay. But on their walk to the wine store, Dave gets too high and his new guest has to help him home. Instead of him being accommodating to the guest, she has to accommodate to him and help him back to his house. He sleeps the rest of the day and night away, leaving Robin on her own, which is really fucked up, honestly. What Dave didn't mention to Robin until today is that his birthday also happens to be this week. He claims he didn't mention it because he hates all the attention. After all, isn't that why he wanted to end the tour in the first place, to kind of get some time to himself? But we know what Allie knows and what Robin hasn't quite figured out yet. As much as scrutiny might set off Dave's anxiety, he will always crave the spotlight. That's why he became a famous rapper. He wouldn't be rapping if he didn't crave the spotlight, if he didn't want even a little attention. Allie alludes to that when she stops by to return his tennis racket and ends up asking Robin for her help. They need someone to get Dave to a surprise party on the beach tomorrow evening, so she's going to help them with that. It doesn't sound difficult in theory, but it's actually a big ask for someone who has technically only met Dave once, especially since he doesn't even like the beach that much. This is probably the worst place they can meet for his birthday. The smartest choice that Jeannie Bergen's script makes is telling most of this story from Robin's point of view, letting us see her thought process in a way we didn't back in Wisconsin. We're going to kind of get to know her character a little bit more as we go on. We spend time with her as she marvels at the various amenities of Dave's huge new house, chats on the phone with her mom about meeting Allie, and finally tackles the stressful task at hand, forcing Dave to go to the beach. At least she cares, right? We see throughout this episode that she clearly cares about Dave, and she clearly cares about what people want for him. The first obstacle, Dave can't ride a bike, and insecurity that ostracized him from his friends growing up. It's not that he doesn't know how. He can get by if absolutely necessary. It's more that he occupies more middle ground. I don't know how much of this is drawn from real life, but Bird nails the physical comedy of the scene, instantly conveying how badly his tentativeness handicaps his biking ability, especially when it's time to turn. When he jerkily steers around a homeless man blocking the sidewalk, he falls over and hurts his knee. Obstacle 2. literally skins his knee, and he acts like it's like a huge deal. But I mean, that is kind of like Lil Dicky's personality, I suppose. I mean, that makes sense. Desperately, Robin scrambles for ways to convince Dave not to go home, but in the end, she has to tell him the truth about the party. Like, she can't just, like, take him home and accept the fact that he's not going to go to the party. People are literally waiting on the beach for him, or at the Airbnb on the beach. That confession, in turn, allows Dave to come clean about what's been eating him up inside, the death scam. And we gotta put that in quotations because it wasn't a scam, it's just he didn't want to tell people that he wasn't dead. But Robin takes the news surprisingly well. Like, she really wants to be with this guy, and she kind of shows it here. After all, by faking her own personality and trying to look cool to Dave, she's been lying in her own way. Those lies are not the same, but Robin is clearly a very forgiving person, which you need to be to put up with Dave. So that it seems like these two are, like, perfect for each other. It's setting up for a possible relationship for the end, the rest of the season, the rest of the series. I don't know. So the party goes off without a hitch, and Dave fakes a surprise, and we end with good vibes. If there's a reaction to be concerned here, it's the fact that this is all a bit too soon. After all, Dave is already introducing Robin to his parents, and she's already adopting elephants for him. Like, they're going crazy for each other. And I mean, this could kind of end up badly, if we're being honest. The two of them still don't really know each other that well. If we're talking about the show itself, my bigger issue is that I'm still not sure I really feel the chemistry there. Dave and Robin are cute together, but there's something about their energies that don't match. Unlike Dave and Allie or Els and Emma. Like, that's a lot of chemistry. Like, it really seems like they're in a relationship. Rebirthday does a good job establishing Robin's personality independent of Dave, putting us in her headspace and making her a co-protagonist. But comparing to more purposeful episodes like the last two or Hearsay, I'm still not quite seeing what this arc is bringing to the table. It's fun enough, and I'm sure it's heading somewhere dramatic, but at this point I haven't been sold on Robin being interesting enough to stick around for Season 4, which I'm pretty sure we are getting Season 4. Oddly enough, this episode sold me much more quickly on another coupling, Mike and Ava, played by Inga Cadranel, who is just now introduced here, Dave's new publicist. Just going to get his name out there and all that stuff. Their chemistry during a business meeting feels real and intense, sustained with long silences and stares. And her invitation for him to come over and annihilate her leads to some prime Mike comedy, considering it will always be funny to see him try to appear threatening. He's really not. He's a white dude. Like, let's be real. But Mike's aborted attempt at role-playing actually leads to a healthy conversation about his and Ava's kinks. By playing out a consensual non-consent fantasy, they can both get what they aren't finding anywhere elsewhere in life. Ava is in control all the time at work, so she likes to relinquish it in the bedroom. Mike feels out of control between managing a man-child and coping with his emotionally abusive dad's illness, so now he gets to take some back. And it's kind of like this cool little chemistry we're getting between those two. Who cares if the dirty talk is cringy when they get all they need from the power dynamic? I don't know how prominently Ava will feature in the final 3 episodes or if she could return in future years, but despite just showing up now, there's already something both funny and oddly natural about her and Mike. Really, their moments of honest dialogue isn't much different from Dave and Robin's own truth-spilling conversation. But it feels more real, more complicated, and less final scene of a sitcom episode. Dave claims that from here on out honesty at the start of Rebirthday, but it smells like bullshit as soon as he says it. The most vulnerable and human moment of the episode has nothing to do with him. So, yeah, I really like this. I like this episode. I think it's probably one of the weaker, like, realistically, it is probably one of the weaker episodes of Season 3. I'll give people that are criticizing it. But, I mean, it's cool to sit back, relax, live a normal life in an episode. Like, we don't have to be going around doing crazy shit. Like, Dave's life, obviously, as the rapper Lil Dicky, has been crazy, but it's kind of nice to, like, sit back and relax a little bit. But, I don't have too much to say. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I will be talking about Dexter up next here, and then I gotta go upstairs, get some TV going. Watch some TV. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode and have been enjoying Season 3. I love Season 3. I think the show